do a really short mini series of videos called Wedding Dress Lingo 101. So we get a lot of brides in and out of here that don't really know a lot about the silhouettes, so the style of dresses, and then the fabrics that they're made out of. So we don't want to go too in depth. We're just going to do some short informational videos. That way you just get a feel before you go in shopping of what you want and what your style is. Okay, so jumping right in, the first fabric I'm going to cover is chiffon. Now, a lot of people hear this word and don't know exactly what it looks like. So chiffon is very popular. First, I'm going to give you an example of one of our dresses that's made out of chiffon, and then I'm going to tell you what it's commonly used for. So turning around here, we have this gown in a bag because it's getting ready to go to a client. But you can see here, it's a very thin material and it's see-through. So I'll pull this dress because this one is a little bit of an easier option to show. So this dress, you can check out on our blog or on our albums. We have pictures of it. This is our retro gown, and this is actually the over shawl that goes over top of it. So this whole shawl here is made out of chiffon material. So see, it's very sheer. So chiffon is a very soft, sheer fabric. Sometimes it's made out of silk if you get a very, very high-end gown. Sometimes it's made out of a blend with silk and rayon, which is a little bit more affordable. And this is going to give you just delicate transparency. So a lot of times you'll see it's used like this for an overlay or an overshawl, or sometimes it will be used on sleeves. So here you can see this shawl has sleeves. And when you would put your arm in it, it's very soft and sheer and see-through. So this is going to be your chiffon material. And this is an example, of course, of what it looks like in an overlay. But again, this is what it looks like on a gown. So it's just usually used to overlay a gown. So you have the beading here, and it flows into the chiffon material just to get a little bit of movement. But it is still very sheer, you just can't see because it's up against a heavier white fabric in the back. So that's gonna be your chiffon material. Now, the next material we're gonna cover is lace. A lot of times you will see lace on either the entire gown or sometimes just the sleeves. So I'm gonna pop around here, turn around back, and show you guys an example. So this gown here is an example of a dress that has a full lace overlay on it. So that means that the entire dress appears to be lace. Pop this one down, and we featured this gown on our blog, and you can also find all of the pictures on our albums. But see here, the lace creates this very beautiful keyhole back, and the whole entire gown is lace. And I'll come and give you guys a close-up just so you can see a little bit of the detailing on it. It's gorgeous. A lot of times you'll see brides wearing lace gowns if they have a really romantic or a traditional feel to their wedding. It also can be very, very, very cute for vintage styles. So the gown I just showed you, this would be something that would be kind of a vintage. It has just that, you know, the keyhole back and everything that you saw a minute ago, and it pairs really well with that style. This other one I'm gonna pull is going to show you an example of a more traditional lace, and this one has the lace sleeves here. So a lot of times you'll see sleeves made out of tooling or out of chiffon paired with lace, and see this one is a lot more traditional with the buttons down the back and the sleeves and just a very classic A-line, which Kristen will cover what an A-line is next week in her video. So this is going to give you a couple different styles of lace, and we love lace here, so we have a lot of different gowns with lace. A lot of times people get lace and just like an applique confused, but you can definitely tell the delicacy of lace versus the applique, which is a little rougher and not so delicate and feminine. So that's lace. Okay, so our next wedding dress material is taffeta. A lot of people get taffeta and satin mixed up because sometimes they both have a very shiny appearance to them, but I'm gonna show you real quick what the difference is. So I'm gonna turn around and get our dress made of taffeta. This gown is very, very, very heavy. This is very heavy. But if you can see, when I hold it up to the light, it's very shiny material. So a lot of times people will confuse taffeta with satin, because satin sometimes can have this very sheen, somewhat reflective finish to it. But the difference is taffeta is going to be very important and very popular in dresses that want to be very full. So if you see this dress on, which you can, we have featured this gown as well, it's very full skirt. It almost looks kind of like a fluffy ball gown, but the taffeta material really gives it that just elegant looking. It's not too poofy, but since the fabric is so heavy, it gives the skirt the ability to be very full without a whole lot of frills. So this one also, you'll see a lot of times we made out of silk in your very, very high-end gowns. And then it's also paired with like a rayon mix for more affordable. It is so pretty and I absolutely love the sheen to it. So I already have our satin gown pulled behind me, and we just saw taffeta. Like I said, a lot of times people will get the two confused just because they do have kind of a shiny or sheen to the fabric. But I'm gonna show you the difference right now. So this is our satin gown. If you can see, the fabric is still very shiny, however, it's very, very light. And now the taffeta one is right here. And this material is much, much heavier and it holds its form. Whereas again, the satin is gonna be a lot more smooth and luxurious and very, very lightweight. So a lot of times you'll see satin used for beach gowns, or like this one, it's just a simple boho gown here. So it doesn't have a lot of detailing to it, but it's just very luxurious and simple. Whereas here, the taffeta is sheen, but it almost has kind of like a matte look to it. So that's the difference between the two. Again, both shiny, but two completely different materials. One is very heavy and one is more lightweight. Okay, so last but not least, we're gonna get to the next two fabrics that people tend to confuse. So tulle and then organza. So they're both very similar, but again, I'm gonna tell you why they're different. One is heavier and one's not. So here we have an example of a tulle skirt. So this is a tulle skirt that is attached to this gown, and it flows here, and see, it's almost like netting. Organza is as well, but I'll show you in a minute. Organza has more structure. So this one, again, is very see-through, very fluffy. A lot of people are very familiar with this fabric because it's used for tutus or any kind of costume or anything like that. So we won't go too much in depth with tulle. Again, a lot of times you'll see it on sleeves, paired with lace to make sleeves or overlays or over skirts, but that's tulle. Now, organza, which is very fun. A lot of times you'll see organza on dresses just like this that have a very full skirt, but see how it holds its structure and it allows the dress movement and bounce. So that's gonna be the difference. This is a lot thicker. It's almost stiff. Again, still looks like netting, but whereas here, the tulle, it doesn't really hold its shape. It kind of just flows wherever you put it. So that's the difference. Again, they look almost exactly alike. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please tune in next week. We're gonna go over silhouettes and styles. So A-lines and ball gowns and mermaids. We're gonna talk about the pros and cons of each, and then kind of what setting you would wear one to. So if you're having a very formal wedding or an outdoor wedding, things like that. So thank you again for watching. I hope you got a lot of useful information, and we hope to see you next week on our silhouette video.